Hello, my friends. Earlier in the week, I asked you if you would like me to discuss each particular bracket after their 3 competitive episodes were over, and you voted yes, so here we are. Today, I am going to talk about the strengths and the weaknesses of the orange bracket, the 3 queens that did not end up making the merge, and if the spoilers that I learned pre-season actually ended up happening the way that they said they would play out. Don't worry, this video won't spoil anything that hasn't happened yet. So let's talk about the strengths first. As I mentioned in episode 2's recap, the orange bracket was the best one to start off with, simply because it did not feature any controversial cast members. By that, I mean Ginger and Georges. Imagine if the purple bracket was first and hypothetically, Ginger was in the top for all 3 episodes. I'm not saying that does happen, I'm talking hypotheticals here. How do you think the fans would have responded? The same goes for Georges, although Ginger is more contentious from what I'm seeing online. It just wouldn't have been received well. Putting the orange bracket first ensured that no matter how this season ends up going, we can all say at least it had a great start. It was a smart choice, and don't be fooled, it was absolutely intentional on production's part to put the orange bracket first. Another strength was the redemptions/glow-ups that we got to see in the orange bracket. Irene the Alien had one of the best redemption edits we've seen in a long time, where she ended up being in the top 3 times in a row. Going from being the pork chop on her season and technically being the lowest rated queen to be eliminated in a cast of 16 to this is insane. And we were all happy to see it. I can't really say that Bosco had a glow up on this season because she already made it to the finale on season 14, but it was so great seeing her and Aja coming into this season as their full authentic trans women selves. As Aja admitted in episode 1, she was inspired by Kylie Sonique Love's win and what that meant for trans women moving forward. To add to the strengths of the orange bracket, we got some pretty decent maxi challenges. We got to see a performance challenge, an acting/improv challenge, and a makeover challenge. And I think all 3 were really fun and enjoyable to watch. It was a good range of challenges to show us what the queens could do, and let's not forget some of the runways. Bosco's coffin look, Irene's makeover as pictured here, etc. Finally, in my opinion, it was completely devoid of riggery. I agreed with every single decision that was made, and that's not something I say often. I have been seeing online a lot that people thought that Olivia was rigged from the makeover episode, and yes, I understand why, but I also think that Bosco had an amazing transformation, so I wasn't shouting at my screen when she was announced as the top 2. Okay, now let's talk about the weakness of the orange bracket. The biggest one, in my opinion, was the double premiere. In a regular All-Star season, sure, let's have 2 episodes back to back. In an All-Stars where we only get 3 episodes per bracket, it didn't work. The orange bracket was over faster than it began. Asia took to her Instagram live earlier this week saying that it actually made it harder for some of them to get booked. This decision was actually very detrimental to them, and that they even tried talking to the network about it, but the network weren't having it. It also took away from the quality time that the audiences could have had with them. The purple and the pink bracket are going to get 3 solid weeks, whereas the orange bracket only got 2. But as you can tell, the strengths far outweigh the weaknesses here, meaning the orange bracket was very successful and enjoyable to watch. You could also tell that Rue was loving this group. It's just better when Rue is vibing and having fun with everybody. Okay, now I'm going to do my original versus All-Stars season for the 3 eliminated queens that did not make the merge. So if you didn't know, I do this for every All-Stars, every Versus the World, I did it for Global. Basically, I just compare the queen from their original season and say whether I like them better in their All-Star season, if I like them the same amount, if I'm indifferent the same amount. With the actual semi-finalists, I will wait till the end because we still have more to see from them. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, well, what about if one of them comes back in the wildcard lottery? To that, all I'm going to say is I highly doubt that any queen from the wildcard lottery is going to steal the crown. And that is not a spoiler, I just don't think production would ever do that. First up, we have Phoenix, and I definitely prefer Phoenix on All-Stars 10 to Season 3. I just felt like we got to know Phoenix a lot more in All-Stars 10 in a modern drag race setting. The runways that she brought were gorgeous, and we actually got some vulnerable moments from her, like learning about her late sister passing from COVID. She also had that iconic moment with Ice Spice, which I think will be memed for a long time, and she got to reference Prison Honey from Season 3. What sucks is that in All-Stars 10, Phoenix didn't really have any breakout moments, and she ended her bracket with 1 point only. Sad. We then have Olivia Lux, and I actually preferred her on All Stars 10 as well. Yes, she didn't make it as far as season 13, but her runways have really improved. And I like that her good girl persona was replaced with more of a bad bitch energy. It was good to see Olivia so confident. And finally, we have my beloved Deja Skye, and I preferred her on season 14. The reason being is she was in it for longer, she won a maxi challenge, and we got to see some really good lip syncs from her. In All Stars 10, she was very insecure, she was recovering from major surgery, and she was very unsure of herself. Her physical and mental health were not in a great place. I want to talk about the preseason spoilers from the Orange Bracket and whether they actually married up to what ended up happening. I obviously knew who made the merge and who didn't. And if you watched my spoilers chat, you would remember that I said I was devastated that Deja Skye didn't make it to the next round. Watching it play out now, though, I understand why she didn't make it, and I'm at peace with it. I knew Irene had a big redemption, and it was just as glorious as I could ever have imagined it. What really made no sense to me, though, was the amount of spoiler accounts that said that Olivia had a big villain edit this season. She didn't really. Can we really liken Olivia to a plain Jane or an Arietti? She was just not as timid. She stood up for herself a little bit more, maybe played the game as she should. And even though she played the game, she ended up coming through for both of her alliances. Villain edit is a bit strong. Everything else played out the same, though. Everything else. The runways, the guest judges, the lip sync songs, the top twos, all stayed the same. And so, out of the Orange Bracket, who are you most excited to see advance and potentially win? My winner pick from this bracket is Irene the Alien, but are you Team Aja, Team Bosco, or Team Irene? I say it as though they're actual finalists, but they're finalists in their bracket. And so, my friends, this is my Orange Bracket chat. I will be doing the same for the pink and purple brackets. Before we move into the pink bracket, let me know the strengths and weaknesses of the Orange Bracket. Do you agree or disagree with what I said? Are you happy with how the Orange Bracket played out? And is there anything you would have changed? Give me all the tea and I'll be back very soon with another video.